I definitely think the defensive line is the strength of the, one of the strengths of the team. We have a lot of depth. We have a lot of, fourth year and fifth year players on the D line. I think the defense as a whole, too, will be probably one of the main strengths of our team. I'm just excited for the season to get started.
Right here, John.
There's been a lot of people share that excitement, but you think as long as you've been out, you're feeling it maybe even more than most. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, definitely. I'm anxious. I haven't played a game in over a year now. It feels weird. I don't think I've ever gone that long in football without doing that. But I'm just excited. It's been a heck of a fall training camp with these guys, and I think everyone's pretty fired up to get out to Utah and play our first game.
Back right.
Desmond, far right. Can you talk about what camp has been like and how it's prepared you now for opening up next Thursday?
Yeah, it's definitely been a grind. I mean, we've been working hard, going through the 2 days and things like that. The way the schedule is set up, it's intended to be hard. It's to push you to your limits, face some adversity. I mean, that's what you got to do at fall camp to come together as a team. I think Coach Harbaugh's done a great job with putting us through that. But now that we're kind of coming to the end of it and getting ready to game week, I think we're ready to start hitting someone else for the first time because I know going against each other every day kind of gets a little bit old after a while.
Second row in the middle.
Chris, with Brian out for Utah and possibly longer, what have the discussions been like between the defensive linemen? As Chris mentioned, with it being a perceived strength of the team, have you guys gotten together now and talked more in depth about losing a key piece, especially for the opener?
Yeah, like I discussed earlier, the depth of the D line is probably one of our strong points on the D line. We have a lot of guys that can play a lot of different positions, and with Brian being out for the first game, it's going to be tough. But we have a lot of guys, like I said, with a lot of depth, and we all trust each other. We all have the confidence that one can go in and play 2 or 3 different positions and get the job done just like they would if they were had that one position and knew it really well.
What have those exchanges between you guys been like, though? Is what I meant. Like, have you talked to anyone specifically and said, hey, Brian's out, we have to do X, Y, and Z, things like that?
Yeah, I think everyone stepped up their game a little bit, got the playbooks a little harder, watched a little bit more film, and just, understood that with one person down, the next person has to step up and, come together as a D-line and as a defense and as a whole team, to get the job done next Thursday against Utah.
Front row here, the green.
Desmond, you guys, it's probably been struggling on the road the last couple of years. What kind of things are you guys doing? Have you thought about, talked about, in order to prepare for, obviously, a hopefully different outcome for your team?
Yeah, I mean, I think you approach every year a little bit differently. But being here quite a few years now, I kind of realized that it's kind of been an ongoing tendency in some ways. And I think one of the biggest things that to overcome that is kind of coming together in the offseason, learning to be able to face that adversity, offensive and defensively, staying on each other's side no matter what's happening with the ball, things like that. And, I think this is one of the closer teams that I've been a part of in terms of overcoming that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to see what we'll respond like when we finally do face that test.
We've got time for a few more. Start with Chris here in the first row.
Chris, Kyle Kalis is a guy who seems to have grown a little bit in his role. Can you talk about how he's kind of elevated his game?
Kyle is, going to be one of our key parts in the offensive line. I can tell you that personally, going against him every day in camp. He's big, strong, physical. He's put in the work in the offseason to become that guy on the offensive line that that we can trust and that we know will get the job done each and every week.
For either one of you guys, your head coach said that Jabril Peppers has been everything as advertised. What does that mean in terms of how he's looking for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to say. You never want to put expectations on someone. I think that's unfair in a lot of senses like that. But I can tell you, firsthand, he's a guy that comes in the meeting room with a lot of intensity to, learn things as best he can. He's a guy that, even though he's younger, has been falling into some leadership in some aspects, being, playing on the field so much, playing multiple positions, things like that. So in a lot of ways, I have seen him step up to fulfill those kind of expectations. But again, I don't want to set a ceiling or anything like that, or where he should or live up to.
One final question here in the second row to Adam.
Desmond, with you and Joe Bolden, obviously being the experienced linebackers there, what was this camp for you like for you guys, and maybe some of those conversations between you two as far as preparation?
Yeah, I mean, I think the conversation actually started even last year. I mean, we lived together. So it's one of those things that, we're close on and off the field, and, playing with each other, in the middle there kind of helps with that as well. But I think it's one of those things where, being veteran guys that have both played a lot of football here and been around, for a couple of years, been around for a while. So it's one of those things where we kind of know what to expect, how to do it, and trying to bring some of those younger guys along as well. But really hone in on how we can best communicate with everyone else and get everyone on the same page.
You mentioned that you guys live together. What's the Morgan Bolden household like a week up to Utah game?
Well, it has since broken up with training camp and kind of with our living situation. We ended up kind of having to pick out some different things, but it was good. We're both fired up. I see him every day, and we're both ready to just get this ball rolling, just as everyone else is.